recommend someone to start with system compatibility. Doesn't matter. I've really only played Mecha Soul 1 and 2 when I was young. Okay. Any of them. MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries is the newest one. This game's been around since 2012. It was one of the Kickstarters. And it's a kick-ass game. You don't really need a whole lot of blasting power to make this game run for you. That's the good thing about this game is they've made it so that you can still run it on a 10-year-old laptop. You might not get the greatest graphic settings, but it'll run for you pretty well. As far as MechWarrior 5 goes, it's built on the same engine, so it's like either of these games would run really well. If you like a story, MechWarrior 5 is your game. It's unfortunately for me, I have issues with it because. Okay, well here's the thing. I'm gonna get long-winded about this. Elias Toufexis is part of the cast, and if you know anything about video games, you know who he is. He's the guy that played Adam Jensen in the new Deus Ex games, Mankind Divided and Human Revolution.
Target.
He's fucking amazing. He was also on The Expanse.
Target acquired.
He's one of my favorite voice actors. He's a really, really cool guy. I met him at a convention several years ago. Really cool guy. Got royally fucked by this game. I was also one of the Kickstarters of MechWarrior 5. I really wanted to love it. I really wanted to love it because I've been playing BattleTech games since 1987. And it was some of the worst writing. It was a really bland story. And it ended so anticlimactically. I'm hoping, because there's DLC coming out next month. I think it's next month.
Destroyed.
Heroes of the Inner Sphere.
Target acquired.
There's DLC coming out next month. Hopefully more stories. But the thing about this game, MechWarrior 5, the story ends. You like in the beginning, your father is killed, and it's a lot like the start of the Grey Death Legion, which is, if you noticed the emblem on my mech, it's the death's head on a red flag. That's the insignia for the Grey Death Legion. In the books, the Grey Death Legion, this teenage guy, he's working for his dad as a MechWarrior apprentice, and his dad is killed in a surprise invasion. Something like that. In the beginning of the game, father dies. You don't know why. And throughout the whole thing of the game, the idea is to take contracts, build up your mercenary company, all that stuff, get more notoriety. Well, the thing is, the mercenary company already had no notoriety, and for some reason you start at 0, which is fucking stupid. Okay, so the story goes on. By the end of the game, you don't figure out why your dad was killed. All you figure out was that he was on to something. And if you know anything about the BattleTech universe, you know what the clans are. The clans are the descendants of what's called the Star League Defense Force. The Star League Defense Force was a giant, huge military that extended throughout the entire known universe. So the story goes, by the end of the game, you don't discover why your dad was killed. All you know is that he was on to proving that there was something coming. The clans were coming. Because by the end of the game, you end up outside the Inner Sphere, which is like where most of the stuff is, into uncharted space, which is where the clans are. And that's it. Like, you defeat the guy who killed your dad, and that's it. There's like, it was like the end of Mass Effect Andromeda. It felt like the closing of a chapter, not the end of a game. And so I was really, really disappointed with that. And another thing was, being a musician, I'm a huge sound snob. And I can also tell, one, when there are different microphones used for different voice acting sessions. And two, when there were more than when there was more than one audio engineer. And that's what pisses me off about games like this. Paradox has a shitload of money. Paradox owns BattleTech, or at least that particular... No, it's Piranha. Piranha owns the MechWarrior game. Paradox owns BattleTech. So, Piranha should have known that there was going to be somebody like me out there playing this game and going, what the fuck? Because the story ended badly. And like I said, Elias Tufexis isn't in this game. He's been in a lot of BattleTech games. Like, he loves science fiction. And I will credit this guy. He played the role well, but there was like, you never see him. You never see his character. All you see is his face pop up in a still on communication. There's no motion capture or anything like that. The characters themselves, they don't move anywhere. Like, you have a ship where you hold all your mechs and stuff. And Jesus Christ, that thing's a badass. So you have a ship where all your stuff is, and you're the leader of this mercenary company. And the characters, they don't move. There's like, you have your cabin and everything. Nothing happens in there. You have different parts of the ship you can explore where nothing happens. And Elias Tufexis' character, I don't remember what his name is, but you never actually see him. You just see like a picture of him while they're communicating with him. And so much of this just struck me the wrong way, because his character, whenever you're communicating with him, you are just communicating with him. Like, it's like he's right there in the room. It's like they thought that they were going to have him there, like they were going to fly him there to the ship, and it would be like him right there. But they didn't do that. Instead, he's on a communications device, and there's no anything like this where it would sound like he's not in the fucking room, he's on a radio. And even even with, high density, communication and stuff, you're communicating across the fucking universe. And so it wouldn't be the most clear fucking thing in the world. But no, it sounds like he's right there in the fucking room. And so I have scruples. The story ended shittily. It was really, really bad writing. It was bland writing because it was basically a ripoff of the Great Death Legion and the clans. And they really, they should have known. They really should have fucking known. Anybody who read the books, anyone who knows what a microphone sounds like there were different microphones used for different voice sessions. They should have at least sent them off to the same audio engineer, but they didn't, and I can tell. The music is good, which is great, and the merch is cool. They even, and I downloaded this. They even released this sort of design that you can print out of a box for the game. Because we don't get boxes anymore or discs at all for PC games anymore. And they released the printout for that, so you can download it and fold it into a box. I thought that's fucking cool, and that's really paying lip service to the fans. If they can do shit like that, why the fuck can't they write a fucking script? And why the fuck can't they enlist an engineer who knows what the fuck he's doing to say, okay, well, these guys used 2 different microphones, but I can make it, I can at least middle of the road it to this point. They didn't bother. Piranha's got so much fucking money from MechWarrior Online for the last 9 years. They have made shitloads of money with microtransactions. The game is free to play, but they've made shitloads of money with microtransactions, advertising, merchandising, shitloads of money. And yet they dropped the ball so bad on a game that should have been so much better than its predecessors. MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries, arguably the best title in the whole fucking MechWarrior series. Not arguably, it's widely hailed as the best one in the series. This game had modern graphics, modern sound, great soundtrack, shitty writing, shitty voice acting, shitty voice mixing. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. But anyway, Fishy, back to my point. Are you still with me? Coffee. By the way, this whole fucking 10-minute tirade I went on, that's me on half a cup of coffee.